Hello everyone, this is Matt from Untitled Interactive, and today I'm going to show you how to edit texture for Miscreated. First off, I'm going to show you basically two ways of working with texture. The first way will be a more simple approach where you only want to modify the diffuse texture of an object to create a different color, add a logo or something on your t-shirt or a piece of clothing or on a weapons or something. Just simple editing in Photoshop. And the second one, I'm going to show you how to do a more in-depth edit of your texture to achieve a more complex result, basically. So first, we're going to start with the simple editing. For that, make sure that you follow Terry's video regarding how to set up the editor for Miscreated. You need to simply go into Introda Interactive YouTube channel and click on the first video right there, Miscreated Editor Download and Installation. It will show you how to get the Miscreated files and link them into your editor. Now that you've done that, the second step will be to install the Cryengine plugin for Photoshop. This is an important part because you need this plugin to export your texture properly for CryEngine. In order to do that, you simply need to go to this link right there. I'm going to post the link in the video description of everything you need to edit your texture. And you just need to install that, follow the documentation to do a manual installation, and you should be good to go. So now I'm just going to navigate to my CryEngine modding folder to grab my texture that I need to unsplit it. So mine is set in modding CryEngine, game is decay. And let's go into the character texture folder or pack file. Let's go into object, character, player, male, torso, long, and grab the leather jacket. Now let's find the male. There we go. Now, if you want to split your DDS file, you will need a program for that. I'm going to have the link in the description so you guys can download it. But it's basically a tool made by someone from the Star Citizen community in order to unsplit DDS files. Since they used the same engine as we did, then it's the same process basically. So what you're going to need is you're going to need the diffuse.dds file and those .dds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 files. So you just grab everything and move it to the converted folder. Then all you need to do is to double click on the AX files and press enter when it's done. There we go. Now we can see that I have a TIFF file of the diffuse. Now let's do the same thing for the spec map and I guess the normal map. So the spec map is right there. Grab the DDS and DDS.127. I'm going to remove this thing. In fact, I think I can do them pretty much. Yeah, let's move the DDNA as well. For the DDNA, you need to grab the 1A as well, because the way we do the normal map and gloss map into CryEngine is that a gloss map is stored inside of the normal map alpha channel. So yep, just passed everything there. So those DDS.1A are in fact the alpha channel of the normal map, so the gloss map. I got a spec map there. I got the normal map, so and the diff map is already done. So let's just start a conversion, and I think it's done. Now I have a spec map, diffuse map, gloss map, and the DDNA. Open everything into Photoshop. Let me just this right there. So there we go. We got your spec map there. Looks fine to me. And now diffuse. Go. The glass map and the normal map. Right. Now for the normal map, you won't be able to use that in game. The way the converter is doing the unsplit, uh, it's doing something not right for the normal map. So you lose pretty much all the volume of the texture, which is not good, and it's extremely noisy, which is not the right way to do it, basically. So this texture, you won't be using it. I'm going to show you how to properly unsplit the normal map to get the right texture out. So this one, we're just going to close it for now, and we're going to do it in a bit. If you don't plan on doing, extensive modifying of texture and in-depth tweaking of texture, you won't need the normal map anyway. Also, if you just want to tweak, let's say you want to tweak that leather jacket and make it red, then you won't need the DDNA and the glass map, and you won't need the spec map as well. You just need the diffuse for that. And if you wanted to do that, you could already do that in Engine by just creating a new material, since the texture is high passed. So it's basically just a gray texture, and if we pick the color straight from the engine. So the material editor can create color variation for you without the need of modifying a texture. Let's say you wanted to add a logo on it, or you wanted to paint something like a smiley face or whatever. So let's do that. You just need to, there we go. Let's make this thing yellow, I guess. Let me just there we go. There. So I just did it in my texture. I added something on it. I could probably add, if I wanted, I could add a color overlay or something on it, but you don't need to do that. You can do that straight in the engine. Well, for the purpose of the tutorial, let's just do that and make it a purple. There we go. Or more pink. All right. So I got a pink leather jacket with a fine logo on top of it. Well, let's just save that texture, and we're going to load it up in the engine next. So now that we're ready to export our texture, we're going to go straight into engine for now, and we're going to start on creating the material first before exporting the texture. I already had my editor running right there, and I already have the leather jacket dropped on the ground. To find it, you just need to go to the brush and type in leather in the filter, and then find the right one, which is the male leather jacket on ground, and just simply drag and drop it down. Now I'm going to show you how to create a new material for it. In order to do that, simply press M, which is going to open up your material editor like this. And then you want to create a new material. In order to do that, all you need to do is to right click on any material you want and just duplicate it. Once you've done that, it's going to create a new material file in the right folder in your modern folder. So it's going to go ahead and create it. I'm going to show you in my Miscreated folder. It's going to create it into Game SDK, Object, Character, Player, Male, Torso, Long, Leather Jacket, and there it is, Leather Jacket 1.material. So it's going to create all those. If those folder doesn't exist on your modding folder, it's just going to create it and drop the material file right there. So now that we have our new material, let's rename it to something appropriate. Let's just rename it letter jacket underscore tut for tutorial and save that. There we go. We get our new material ready to go. And let's just assign it to our object for now. So just select your object. If you're having a hard time to select the object, I can suggest that you press the shift space to activate the helper. And then you can see that if you over an object, it's become highlighted. So you can select it easier. Now simply right click on the letter jacket material that you created and assign to selected object. Oop, there we go. Now, as I was explaining while we were doing the texture in Photoshop, if you want to modify the color of an object, you can do that right into the engine. So right now we don't have much leather jacket material variation. You have the gray, the brown one, which is the normal one. You have the black one. You have the one which is Michael Jackson themed, and I think you have a yellow one, and that's pretty much it. So if you wanted to create more variation, then all you need to do is to open up the material right there and go into the jacket submaterial. And you need to go down to the shader parameters. And you can see there the dirt tint. This is where the colors of the leather jacket's coming from. Just click on it, and then you can see that you can cycle through every single color that you want. Now that jacket is separated in various submaterial, so you can change pretty much any of them to the color you want. You have the sleeve under, which is the part underneath the sleeve, since there are two colors. You have the zipper, which I guess you won't really change because it's going to stay metal no matter what. The clothing part, well, elastic part right there, you can change the color. Shoulder pads, you can change the color, which is the top of the shoulder. The middle leather, which is this part right there. And the chest, you can pretty much just pick the color you want and create material variation or more color variation like that. All right, I'm just going to revert everything back. And now we're pretty much ready to export our texture from Photoshop. Now back in Photoshop, all we need to do now is to save this texture. Do that, go to File, Save As, and you're going to navigate to your modding folder and save it into the proper folder, which is cryengine, Game SDK, Object, Character, Player, Male, Torso, Long Leather Jacket, and create a texture subfolder, and just save it right there. Leather Jacket Male Tutorial as a crydiff. Now, the one you want, the setting you want is albedo with generic alpha, because there's an alpha map on it, which is the dirt map. You can just go ahead and remove it from the alpha channel if you want. In that case, it's just going to go with albedo, simply just albedo. But for now, I'm just going to leave it at, well, if you select just albedo, it's just going to ignore the alpha channel anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and albedo, no alpha channel. But if you had an alpha channel, like if you wanted to create, like I've shown you inside of the editor, different material variation using a dirt map, then you want to go with generic alpha. For now, let's just go with albedo, and we're going to be good. And as a 248, if you want to change the resolution, simply click on PC right there, choose resolution, and go and change the resolution if you want. But I'm just going to stay at 248 for now, and click OK. Now that the texture is saved, let's move back to CryEngine, and let's load the texture into our material. In order to do that, simply click on the jacket submaterial and go to the diffuse. There, click on the three dot, and let's find our, there we go. That's the texture we want to load. Click on open. Now you can see that nothing much has changed on the leather jacket. That's because the dirt map is still active. All you need to do is simply go into the dirt layer and deactivate it because we're not needing it anymore. And you can go ahead and remove that map as well. Now what you want to do is you want to copy this setting to all of the submaterial. So just click on copy category and paste. All right, I'll go back to the zipper, do the same thing, elastic, same thing, shoulder pad, letter, chest. There we go. All of those I'll still have the dirt map setting activated. So, oh, no, it does not. So we're good. So now it's pretty much done for now. So the new material is done, ready to be applied on the new item. So the next step will be to create the new item so you can pick it up and wear it in the game. So let's do that. First, you want to go back to your cryengine folder and you want to extract an XML script. So go lower this and go into our cryengine folder. Go into Game SDK and open up the script pack. We're going to go into scripts, entities, item, XML, loading, torso, and now find the leather jacket. Just press L, and there we go. We got a leather jacket. We're going to use the leather jacket black.xml and modify it. So now what you want to do is to paste it into your modding folder in the right folder. So it will be into CryEngine, Game SDK. If the folder is not created, go ahead and just create a script folder, entities, item, XML, floating, torso, and just drop it right there. Now you want to rename it to something appropriate. So let's just do that. Rename leather jacket tutorial. And now you want to edit it. So just go and edit with Notepad or any text editing that you need. I'm using Notepad for that. Go. Now we want to modify the name of it so it matched the name of the XML. So leather jacket black will become leather jacket tutorial. It's important that the name inside of the XML is the exact same name as your file, and it is case sensitive. So you want to have the letter jacket. Each word needs to be a uppercase letter. Match the same name right there. Now the display name is the name you see when you're looking at the object before picking it up. So it's going to say black leather jacket. Let's change that for a tutorial leather jacket. And the description is what you're going to see if you hover your mouse over it inside of the inside of your inventory. You're going to see a tight-fitting leather jacket. So let's change it to a tight-fitting leather jacket with a smiley face logo on the back. Back. That. Now you want to change the material to the material that you've created. So you go back into your engine. Your material is leather jacket underscore tut. So just go ahead and leather jacket underscore tut. And leather jacket for tut. And this is it. You don't need to edit anything else. You could probably edit, the a few values like the mass of it, so it weighed less in the engine, whatever. But for now, I'm not going to touch anything of that. I'm just going to go ahead and save it. And that's pretty much it. So now we're ready to go ahead in Engine and test our new items. In order to do that, you will need to close the editor and relaunch it. I've already done that. So my item file is already created. And so I don't need to restart it. I'm just going to move the material editor. I'm just going to go into Entity, Reload, sure, and search for leather jacket. And there it is, my new leather jacket tutorial. Dropping it. You can see that it's exactly the same item as the one we had on the ground. So now I'm ready to just jump in game, grab it, and you can see that I'm wearing my super leather jacket with my smiley face on it. That's pretty much it for my part. In the following tutorial, we're going to show you how to create icons for it, so you can display the right icons for it, and also how to add such item into the spawning table so it actually spawn on the server. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in game, guys.